Hello, I am Puk, also known as Nina, and today I will be talking about my experience and a small review of the new Barbie movie. And let me tell you, oh my gosh, it's such good soup. First, I was with my boyfriend, who is a trans man, by the way, and today with another friend, and she's also a trans woman. Let's go back to the first time when I saw it. I went with my boyfriend. We had two predictions ahead of time, and those were one, that I would have two favorite characters, two, that I would cry. And guess what? He was completely right on the money. Because I've always liked Barbies, I was never allowed to play with them because I was a little boy. So I went in with an open mind and curious. Chris and I went in total black. The movie had just came out. Chris already went with like two friends of his, so he already knew the movie and he was totally amazed by it. And in like only the first couple of scenes of the movie, I was already hooked. It already gave such a comment on the current society and the patriarchies and everything. And it was amazing to see like Barbie in all different races, and there's a transgender Barbie, and oh my god, I love her. It really made me feel like Ellen. Ellen is another character in the movie. Ellen is just there.
Hi, Barbie.
Oh, hi, Alan. There are no multiples of Alan. He's just Alan.
And we start out in Barbie land, where the Barbies rule the world and everything's female and pink, and I was loving it. But then they go to the real world, because Barbie has noticed some changes and has gone to Weird Barbie for help.
What do I have to do? You have to go to the real world.
As soon as they arrive in the human world, it hits home. If I basically perfect Barbie, perfect woman, and to be fair, Margot Robbie is pretty darn good, goes to the real world and already feels so much anxiety and
What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
insecurities, because I'm also having a lot of difficulties with those. They will notice that in the real world, everything is male dominated. That's basically this current society we live in. There's this whole talk about the sisterhood, about male patriarchy, and a lot of other quite heavy societal subjects. They go on a journey about going back into a box, families, and even with like Ken, I could like identify, because even though I don't feel like a Ken, I've never been a Ken. I've always been a Barbie. I could connect, but as being insecure in like a world where you're really trying to feel like you're part of something, like you belong, that you're not hated, that you're not unseen or invisible, but that you can be a part and people acknowledge you. Barbie will meet some people and they will let each other realize a lot of things. Also, all the name calling and like bitching that people do towards Barbie is also very recognizable for me. And I really felt kind of connected with like Ellen, because Ellen is always just there. I always wanted to be a Barbie. I always wanted to play with Barbies. I always wanted to be a part of sisterhood. But I know I'm not, and I probably never will be. And that makes me very sad. And later in the movie, Barbie connects with some people and she starts asking questions about her insecurities, what it's like to be human or a doll. That made me cry every time. Yesterday I cried for the second time because it just really hits home. The whole idea of being male and female, and I wanting to be female all my life, but I was forced to do like boyish things. I've never been able to, be myself. I was always like in that structure, always having to pick sides and never be part of anything really. The song of Billie Eilish starts playing, I am crying. I'm crying so fucking hard. Because when Billie is singing like, what was I made for? That's a question I've asked myself a lot. I never felt like I belonged. I never felt that I was here for a purpose. I would never fit in when my boyfriend and I went home. We were talking about the movie, obviously. Also about I'm Just Ken, which is so good, which it shouldn't be, but oh my god, it's good soup. The soundtracks were a point anyway, like all songs were good soup. He as a trans man could also connect with like Alan and Weird Barbie. When we went home, we were talking about how we see the world and society structures and how we see ourselves in the future, what is happening around us. And I got very emotional. It hit me so hard because he was born as a girl and now he wants to be a man. So he's leaving behind like the sisterhood and all that, which is what I always wanted. Meanwhile, I'm like giving up my male privileges to go to the lesser side. We've been talking a lot about how we feel and see the world, and the world sees us and our place in the world and society, and how an acceptance is still a far away place that we hope will someday reach. I've literally been crying for an hour and a half. The insecurities about the world, how you see yourself, how you're perceived, everything being male and female is lesser, and you can't have emotions as a man, and the movie has just such a societal comment. I really, really recommend you watching this movie. It's very good. Only thing I would say, like, I wouldn't go with kids. Not because the film is not kid friendly. It's just it portrays a lot of serious subjects that kids won't understand yet, I think. It's not just a fluffy Barbie animation movie with like moving cute animals, and it's an actual movie with an actual serious message. I didn't expect I would say this, but this year has been a very good movie year, and Barbie is like in my top movie list of all time at this point. It has everything I would wish in a movie. It has the comedy, it has the good music, it has the musical vibes, cinematography was good, story was great, amazing acting, diversity. And about the diversity, there was no real comment on the diversity, which made it a comment in itself. There was no complaining about being in a wheelchair or race or being trans. It was just the Barbies and the Kens. So that also is like a comment on our current state of society, where still a lot of things are based on race and how you look and if you're disabled or not. But in this case, all those were accepted, except for the male-female division. So yesterday I went with the other friend, a trans woman. I cried again, as I do with the Barbie movie. And I started also talking to her about how she feels. She was actually very happy because she did a girlish thing with girlish people being accepted by girls. So she had a gender euphoria moment. I know this is like a weird thing to say, but she's way more passable than me. And I'm also way more active in like, because I go to the Kennel Prides and I actually get a lot of hatred out on the streets. And people keep saying that the Netherlands is like the most accepting country towards queer people. And I can tell you it depends on where you are. If you're like in Utrecht or Amsterdam, then it's mainly okay. But where I live like in a small city in the north of the Netherlands between all the farmers and cows. But here the acceptance is very hard to find. Ever since I was a little kid, when I wanted a doll, I would get like an action man, because action men are dolls for boys. One time in school I won something and I could pick out a prize, and there were like these tractors and farming animal things, and there were like these dolls, and I really wanted those dolls. So I went to mom and to the teachers and I said, I want this doll. And they were like, no. You can't have the doll. The doll is for the girls. You must pick the character and the farm animals, because that's boys. And I remember being so devastated. I just wanted the dolls. I'd have to play with Barbies of other people. But now I'm an adult, and now I have adult money, and I use that money to buy childish things, like dolls. I bought Barbies, and I also bought like these Disney princesses, because I love Disney princesses. I could always connect with Ariel, because I always wanted to be part of that world. And now I've bought her in Disneyland in her wedding dress. I've always been forced to try to like boyish things. I couldn't get scissors and give my stuffed animals a hair job, because a hairdresser is a girl. I couldn't put like stuffed animals up my shirt because then I would look pregnant. Because I always felt like I'm a girl, I want to be a mother. But no, that was not allowed. So they threw all away those toys. And I would always play with girls. I've always had girlfriends. And those girlfriends were amazing because they were feminine and they liked Diddle and they liked Barbie. And they liked those feminine things and I could dress up with them. But I was also just so young. I had no idea. It's only later when I hit like puberty and I got depressed and a lot of things were happening around me and I started to basically live on the internet. I saw the documentary Valentine about a young boy who felt like he was a girl and they followed her from small boy to basically become a woman and now model and very amazing. But that was basically my awakening of realizing that I was trans. I remember one time when my mother and her boyfriend at the time came to me. I was like 7 or 8 years old when they came to me because I was playing with a lot of girls, I had girlfriends and all that. And they came to me and they said like, it's okay if you come home with a boy. And I was like, why would I come home with a boy? I like playing with girls. Later I asked mom about this and she said, well, we thought you were gay. And well, they're not entirely wrong. I mean, I think I'm pansexual because I think I can love everyone regardless of gender or sex. But that's a story for another time. TLDR, Barbie is an amazing movie. I really recommend you see it. Not only to just enjoy watching, because it's also just a fun movie, it also gives a real good comment on the current society. Well, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time and watch the Barbie movie. Now, I tell you,